Alright everybody, welcome back to the Hollyoaks content. This time we're going to talk about the week of Hollyoaks in a very roundabout way, but let's be honest, the two main topics are going to be about the walls closing in on Abe and the most Hollyoaks return ever committed to Hollyoaks history. It's up there with the Romeo exit, which was absolutely hilarious and cheesy and campy as fuck. But how is Danny Mac back? Backstreet's back. Alright. Oh, it's so Hollyoaks, man. I love it. This is why I love Hollyoaks. It's so ridiculous. It's unbelievably ridiculous. Because you hear Jeremy and Martha say, Jeremy goes, oh, some secrets are best left kept in the past. And then you see a hooded figure in an alleyway next to it. And then he emerges as everybody, yeah, rock your body, yeah, rock your body, yeah, rock your body right. Backstreet's back, all right. Hood off, it's Dodger with long hair and a beard. Not looking like Dodger. Dodger, as far as I remember, was very clean shaven. He was always clean shaven. He was always, had that short, lovely hair. But let's be honest, he's an older man now. He's keeping a hold of it as much as he can. as are we all. But yeah, it's up there in the history book. It's the most Hollyoaks return committed to memory. Like, the only way you could have had it done even more on the nose is if you had Return of the Mac playing. Not like the fucking... Not Can't Hold Us by Macklemore. The Return of the Mac. Remember when? Return of the Mac. Like, the whitest rendition of Return of the Mac ever repeated on camera. But yeah, it's nice. It's cool to see Danny Mac back as a whole. I am pretty chuffed to see him. Obviously, as it's been revealed, he is going to be returning with... He's going to be in a relationship with Maxine, and he's now going to be an undercover police officer. I said this briefly in the trailer review. I don't mind this twist. We kind of wonder how he ended up. We wonder how he ended up the way he did. As he went on the run trying to protect Nico from the police as she had pushed Will Savage off the roof. So, therefore, what's happened after all this time? But I do look forward to seeing how he's reintroduced. Look, all right, he's kind of like Freddie Roscoe in a sense. He's better than Freddie Roscoe. He's a better actor than Freddie Roscoe. He's much better than Freddie Roscoe, but he does have that kind of boyish, cheeky, chappy charm. But at the end of the day, there's a reason his most viewed part of his body is his abs. Let's be honest, not the best actor is Dodger. But who the fuck cares? He's pretty. Look at him. Gorgeous man. Delicious. Delectable. Charming. So I do look forward to seeing this because, they had to bring back... I feel like you had to do it. You wanted to explore his new past of the retcon past of Jeremy being the parent of what was then Patrick's children. And you want to explore and bring someone in for Maxine because she's clearly still a focal part of the show for reasons. I guess they just wanted to be a Hollyoaks icon. Never really getting there as a Maxine, let's be honest. Look, it's been a long time since she had the Patrick domestic abuse storyline. And she really did do well, but everything beyond that has been laughable. She's a fantastic actress, and she does a really good job. But I don't know. You can understand why the common perception of Maxine is not the best. But I look forward to seeing. I look forward to seeing the reunion with Sienna. I look forward to seeing how he interacts with Dilly and Liberty more. I look forward to it, and I also look forward to the potential of seeing more of the, if you brought back any of the savages. It's still a criminal shame that Dirk is dead, but would be cool to see not Joe, that's Joe Tessitore. Who the fuck was he as a savage? I know he was a useless bellend. But, the bald guy with the glasses. Fuck, what's his name? To be fair, not that many other savages ticking around. They are usually all quite dead. Yeah, I don't remember. Joe? I don't fucking remember. I don't remember who the fuck it was. But the comedian, he's doing the stuff. He did the videos of him seeing Brendan Amiche Scanlon. He did the video of him with Dodger. You know the one. So I look forward to seeing what they're gonna do. I want to see if Dodger's gonna have like a secret family. I want to know what the undercover business is in terms of Dodger, and I am looking forward to seeing how exactly they're going to set it up. And yeah, so that's all the Dodger stuff. Just to recap all the other stuff, and I'll finish off with the walls coming in on Abe, as it will be a very stark tonal shift, because ultimately, look, there was a lot going on with Abe, and there's some, horrific stuff that goes down in this week of episodes, really well portrayed, so that will be dealt with the severity it deserves. Otherwise, Dylan is being a deadbeat dad. Rex is from what I can tell, he's getting him hooked on weed, or he's getting him hooked on hash or spice. He's getting him hooked on something that you smoke in vape. So maybe it's hash or something, maybe it's spice, I don't fucking know. And he gets back and he's really beaten up. Donnie's talking about how maybe baby James should be adopted, which is like, it's not your fucking kid, mate. Yes, Steve is still recovering from his psychosis, but it's not your fucking call. He goes from saying, "Oh, we need to step up for the kid. We'll look after him. Fucking hell, Dylan, you useless prick. Fuck off. The Dylan Rex kind of friendships is going to be weird. Seems like he's probably going to be... Maybe Rex is going to get him to supply drugs or sell drugs in some way. Just get him trapped somehow, get him hooked, and then get him, trapped. Because it seemed like he needed a new dealer. So it's going to be interesting to see what that is. Dilly and Prince. Dilly and Prince. Yeah, Dilly and Prince hooked up. Yeah, great. Fantastic. This love triangle that no one gives a shit about. I love Dilly. I think she was a great new addition. I think she is a cool person and a cool character. But, this non-stop run-around circle with fucking Prince, man. It's just cheeks. It's just absolute cheeks. Continuing on. Yeah, it's just not... I just don't care about it. I want them all to move into a different direction. I want Dilly to find someone else. I miss the connection that her and Ethan had. I don't know why they didn't decide to go with it in this new era. But, that's as is the soap boss's way. Anything else happen? Ro kind of finally explained that the reason she's feeling... Oh, fuck. The reason he's feeling so bad is he is consistently... He's just being bullied by Arlo. But as he has fallen off the drink, which Arlo put out, Tony just decides your opinion doesn't fucking matter anymore and causes more strain than it's worth. Is there anything else happens this week on Hollyoaks? And obviously the Abe stuff, which is very upsetting. So now let's prepare everyone. This topic will now discuss sexual assault and sexual abuse and domestic violence and overall domestic abuse. Overall. So this week, Perry is starting to dig in further about Abe, trying to fully comprehend maybe some of this doesn't add up. And it starts off where she is smacked by Abe once again, who said said he'd never do it again. You were too close to me. You made me do it. Said all of the common rhetoric that abusers use. And then in the evening, she gets drunk and passes out on the bed. But Abe kind of gets all up in her face as she's clearly very passed out and says something to the effect of, "You've been getting too close, you've made me do this," and that where he sexually assaults her whilst she is sleeping, which is horrific. And then we get a very powerful performance where Perry wakes up kind of hungover but still aware, notices she went to bed with her clothes on. Why are my clothes off? And she confides in Leela, and the Lomax is that Abe sexually assaulted her. And they go to the police, and they say, and whilst in the police, she gives all the evidence and is stoic, and Leela's very struggling. And she hears, I don't remember how it gets brought up, but he hears that Abe said "good girl," and suddenly this brings it all back to Leela, who quickly realizes that Abe also did the same to her. Continuing onwards with that, though, Cleo wakes up because Abe is released and Marie still believes in her son. So they, like Leela, Joel, Mercedes, all go to Cleo, and Cleo gives us the exposition of her view of what happened with Abe. And I've seen some people complaining about this, and I think it's just people just being kind of fed up with the show. It's like, oh, why is she explaining it? It's like, well, they're asking how she felt about Abe and why she was still there in the end. And she goes how she was still locked in the closet the whole time. She thought he was initially her. She thought instead of being a captor, he was her savior. And then when she finally realized that Marie wasn't dead and that he was just a captor, she staged her death and eventually managed to get out. And essentially goes, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll tell this all to the police because ultimately I don't want him to hurt anyone else." And they're all devastated. But Abe gets out of prison for pending further investigation. And Joel, still furious, goes to the pub where he has had enough. Abe kind of gloats about how, just kind of gloats how ridiculous it is that nobody believes you. And Joel does a big speech like, "Oh, so this Abe, this regular guy, he is an abuser. He's a sexual abuser, and he is a domestic abuser." And at first, it's like everybody just kind of looks at Joel like, "Really, homie?" But then, many of these women have also been abused by men in their lives, so they all stand up for Joel, and Abe is thrown out. This, as Joel previously looked in the flat and wanted to see where Cleo was kept, but Abe turned it into a gym just in time. So Abe is once again ousted from the community. Leela can't stomach this and goes out, tells Mercedes, I think the baby is Abe's. He did the same to me." And Marie finally comes into the flat and is looking around in the area as Leela kind of tells her beforehand, like, "Yeah, you're protecting an abuser, and you may be trying to overcompensate for your failings as a mother, but Abe is an abuser, and you need to take this seriously. He's going to hurt more women." So she looks in the supply cupboard. I don't know what to call it. He looks in the side room where Cleo was kept, and she sees a big C, which Abe still looks. And what is he going to do next? So, all that said, it's an interesting one, because whenever you have a villain do such despicable acts, you have that thing whether it is tasteful, like whether it is tactful, whether it has the right amount of severity to tackle these issues. And I think they've done a good job of tackling these issues. I think that the actor, I think it's what Tyler Conti, has done a fantastic job of portraying an abuser, and I think it's not been the best like storylining or writing material or just overall display of this performance is not as bleak as a Coronation Street or EastEnders would do it. Well, it is still bleak, but it's not as long-winded as such. You know, Hollyoaks is a much more fast-running show than all the others. But you know, was it worth the squeeze? You know, you have kept Cleo captive for a year, and you have Perry suffer another sexual assault, which could end up in a pregnancy as well. But yeah, I think in a sense the juice has been worth the squeeze. I think the storyline's been quite enthralling in a way. They've built him up to be a villain to the highest degree, and it'll be very cathartic to see him face justice for his actions, just like it will be when JJ does. So, with all that said, that is a pretty scatterbrained but still complete rundown of Hollyoaks this week. I enjoyed the Danny Mac return. I enjoyed as much as anyone can enjoy the Abe stuff, and I look forward to seeing his inevitable downfall. And it'll be nice to be able to move out of this funk, because surprisingly the Abe stuff actually received quite a high amount of focus after the time jump. So it'll be interesting to see what new villains they bring in next, which angles they go for further. I am gonna look forward, you know, like once we get into the second phase of all the storylines after the time jump, I think we can then start to judge how Hannah Cheers has like heralded this new era of the show. But fundamentally, a lot of good stuff to wrap your teeth into, and all in all, I think they did quite a good job with everything here. So tell me what you thought about Hollyoaks so far. I've been Ash from Watching Walford. Thank you for joining me today. Tell me what you think in the comment section down below. See you next time. Bye-bye.